what does it mean for Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur? If we are Daniel Levy, will you sack Ange? And I say, if you are Ange, will you resign? Looking at what you've been through, and you know.
Yes, I think in all aspects of football, saying come here Ange and can none paying come resign. I didn't make us and say this has been a Tottenham team. Last season, Obefa team who the performance when team na team in injury, they did so well. They were on top of the league table. Compared to Chelsea, or Dinya 2 red cards, then a lot of injuries. A set up team now in a way, better, even a good position to qualify for the Europa League. So he's not a bad coach. The second season, injuries edinya ye pa, and Dan Beckham has said, share a lineup of that back line and draw boy na this season. Oma boy 5 times per, including in draw the no boy. So meaning say he has not gotten a good center pairing, and now that 5 back, including Nikipa Vicario, in games are I remember say Abuano. So if a coach like this in a Tottenham team, Antonio Conte's, the Jose Mourinho's, the infant say Espirito Santo, but they feel so frustrated to the extent say they are not protected by the club. Daniel Levy, when it comes to putting up money for them to build something for the club, higher than Osha Ange, a bad team we more. Or top players will be ampo nimum. Udogi no be ampo nimno. Vicario no be ampo nimno. Van der Ven no be ampo nimno. But these are players. I mean, he's a coach. Ultimate scouting quality talent at a lower price. Wow. So if things are not going on well, now it is in a way club didn't point me protecting the manager. But every time manager Nico media we are space to have a discussion or a press about anything, and then the media will be attacking him. Now also prove the only thing that Etimebo and Bepi say he didn't lose any game in the Europa League. Say he or Mufim, he could lose any game and come Pamono. And add the into a man Pamono to the final near because of that Jose Mourinho thing or Mufemuno. Into Omu Yamaji say in Jino non Kobo or Lusu and Afaso Pamono. Now this has been something I say. They asked him yesterday, say Obi free or say Debbie. He thinks there are a lot of things to do. And Indra, one thing I liked about him that he was able to back the claim, say the second season Oji Trophy, and I'm pampered to me here. Indra Obi Oshe game no. To me, it was one of the worst European finals I'm in football.
I was ahead of Chelsea and Bayern Munich.
It was the worst. Chelsea and Bayern Munich, there were determination from 2 teams. Bayern Munich were playing at home, the fans were on them. Chelsea knows through to go out and play against Bayern Munich. Internet was sitting back. And you could see a bit of determination from the Chelsea setup saying BB. But this game, Indra, from minute 21 to minute 24, the ball was being played from the right side of the pitch. Tottenham nyabo muntimi po movie ball. United ball na no musoma da no ball. They couldn't even switch plays. And in a way, you said there are media conversations about the second half Tottenham Ekele game, no Mumpese game near there. It's a cup final. Untimi kan champion Mourinho show in a cup final 1-0 first half. Na second half maybe him no but for them. Or no baby mumbo. And Indra, I was very, very surprised at that particular game at Angie Diba in the second half because he's not a coach known for that. But baby you do know. Or 1-0 lead. Quite be as well yeah. Na 90 minutes no team winning, no be winning. So let's go into the game. I think with 2 teams in the lineup on Tottenham side, no, being the team at Onubo home, I think that was the lineup I was expecting. Human Song and start game because he's not much fit. Now obey no be to me who say Song and him the way to me drive a ball, the way to me kuta ball check, he wasn't able to do it, so he wasn't much fit. And the players available for coach a friend Ange no omo no mbeti me abo mo modin wo mu no de omo boy Matiste omo any the likes of the friend is saying Achigre mo this was not a competition and they can't come in and just prove something for you. So to me it was a good lineup. And that midfield battle between Bentancur, Bissouma, Sa, they did so well. Even though a man you Finfin was so weak for them to be able to walk over them, but they were able to do so well, making sure say those half spaces, double tens, na man you bono, they could take advantage of them. No Muntimi make good use of their defense. But I think with the Tottenham team, player disappointing me on the night was Udogi. Because Udogi is one player about the left back position in the Premier League from last season to this season. Make us say 1v1s or using his strength, making sure say on my own fan he has been one of the best. Second Premier League, maybe Meyi Kukurela, Meyi Kekes, Meyi Udogi. These are 3 players that they show that particular player trait. But in draw, he was so weak on the ball. The markings, the positioning was very, very poor. Now in draw, a coach like Ruben Amorim should have taken advantage of that very, very well. But me from him, and I think Tottenham set up Romero, Van der Ven, almost draw game on my boy. I think they were very poor, especially trying to mark player friend with friend is in Hoyland. I didn't make us and say Man United last game of boy against Chelsea. The way I told him MRK Hoyland they were striker bia up a physical contact. Up every time bia no do who talent into say ball na ba or she say defender ne ba be pim no. Into say only the course a particular game no ma or enjoy into Indra who Hoyland only a lot of the ball compared to the Chelsea game no. But in draw no you say Romero there he's more physical or not a ball no pay. But I wasn't expecting Van der Ven to do the same thing. In draw no ma play into Hoyland game no more. Emma ne link up plays bi ni nyama ba ku mienu baby e koma no. But there's something I think maybe in a coach in so plan. But I think he was wrong. So Hoyland it mean a good 10 no timi link up with her. In KB Man United bet me a goal. Now in do me cause 1 or 2 fouls if they could take advantage of and bet me a bomb. The share Man United lineup now. I was a bit disappointed with starting of 1. Ahmad at that 10 role. 1. I think Amorim. I did back was a Man United for who say I think maybe he doesn't review his games. He doesn't review the players or the Omubono. Because Ahmad this season Obi a Man United games more than 3 Amadabo that 10 role as a player on pay. He wants to come back, pick the ball, and now run at the defense. Until every time you about that 10 role, no performance ni nkoni nim. But say obo as a right wing backer, otimi ba etimi bobo ni ye. Until during the game, no every time be a United were in possession, no he occupies that right wing back position. No, I catch here, Masarawi say, or no confinfin ho, enkobo as a 10, and unco those half spaces no, because the ability no quitano, those half spaces 10 now maybe the likes of Messi Mount mo, a bit me I am or no intimine. So coming up with this lineup no was something I was a bit surprised. Those say Indra United setting up in a way say when they are attacking, with Masarawi, Beba bought say a left back, then Luke Shaw. Ebejina, Masarawi Babo as a right back, Luke Shaw Bejina, then to be like a 4-back on Bebo with Casemiro Bejina, senior Bruno Fernandes be joining in as a double 10 with Mason Mount. But Edu baby no, the players I don't know so Murefi tactics now no more bono. You could see the likes of Mason Mount occupying those half spaces near so bono, and Bruno occupying na center row near so ne Casemiro bono no ejane ho. Then Ahmad Enzo on the right wing back position. Ama Masararia, he's no good in those tents. Ababe occupy that half space na M1. So I think tactically it was something wrong on the United setup. Even though say possession wise and everything they were good. Oshe Tottenham, their left side now, especially when United are facing them, their left side now, it was one of the weakest linker. Now can say Man United they explore ye because we are friends. Richarlison is not a winger. Untimi Kutabo ni mchinipa bakumienu. And Udogi was having a bad night. So that was the place. Not during the first half, Nkobeti me a change. Maybe the likes of Garnacho coming in. Any a friend is saying, Ahmad, ebema a lot of pressure. Senior Richarlison beko nichi. It may put more pressure. Ewo Udogi so send your mummy be try and so be hold those 2 players. Getting that early goal in the first half was something crucial for Ange and in Brandt here. And it was a goal. It was a poor marking. It was a poor marking from player friend Masarawi. Poor marking from.
I think Maguire because
the ball there. I don't blame Maguire for it.
No, you see the first cross. The basic principle of defending is that if defend a ball bar, you don't let the ball hit the ground.
Yes.
What you are saying? Or no, baby, he wasn't marking anybody. There was a player, no, what they were funny. He wasn't marking anybody. So the first thing
you look sure.
No, Say look sure they are no bad save situation.
The be but maybe from the play no. Time a ball no could deal with Charles in Hono. No ntimi cross it into or the ball no ekoma Papisa ball crossing ability and yet top notch sir. Into ndo a ball no cross here no. It was a weak cross into the box.
But you see, maybe that space between Maguire and the first post, you know, you don't do that.
Yes, and I mean, but me explaining you know. The first incident was Masarawi should have blocked the cross. Masarawi blocked the cross. The next thing is na Maguire ejina Solanke so because on him Solanke ability. Then now look sure and na hwe Brennan Johnson. Inti na de ba ko I think obi bewe mu and I look sure catch here Udogi say onhwe Johnson. Inti that was the first move and send across neighbor. Say onhwe Johnson. Adebakwa Udogi too was very poor on the night. Udogi jai ma Johnson bedi o menim. Inti time a ball ni bedu ye no. Na Johnson area look sure. So into Johnson ne ability of meeting the ball la. When ti mention ball ni ye. Inti bepem ne tie. But because look sure na Johnson aba bedi ne nima no no so pese o close in term no. And a ball ni sambe ball ni shoulder, e sambe deflect beto mu. So Masarawi should have stopped that cross. And I senka Udogi was able to listen to Luke Shaw or Marky Brennan Johnson here. In Kenunu, Brennan Johnson ran, Udogi bet me a follow. I stopped the ball. But me who said there are people blaming Onana for that particular goal, no? And Onana isn't to be blamed for it. The three back, including Lenny Yoro, at that time, he was not only baby poor work, including Maguire and Luke Shaw, they were poor.
Because I shouldn't have allowed the ball to hit the ground. Because that space, you know, play be able to make your so you cover the first post. And he was lazy.
They were very, very poor. And one thing I'm steady on the night, and they say the likes of Maguire, Lenny Yoro, Inyabola, especially in the final third, Tottenham allow him so omumbo shot because they know they don't have the ability to shoot from that end. But Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw, Munyabola, they want to close them up. And it was a good approach from Ange. One thing I got to like about his game yesterday is in the second half, first 20 minutes, Omo imagine say ball, leave the ball to United for them to play. And after the 20 minutes, Omo imagine say okay, let's open up with counters. Omunya two crucial chances are Solanke any song itimi say no can omentimi answer any the anka we'll see maybe a 1.5 or 2 goals happening on the night. One thing he did also so well was bringing in Kelvin Danso to now hold them with a three back, and now they are full backs. No, Spence, Ebeyi, Udogi, because Udogi was poor, to now make sure said those runs now United Ebe with those crosses no Ebe avoid it. And Ruben Amorim, the changes or here was on the night to me was very poor.
Okay,
Mason Mount shouldn't have gone out of the game because Upobia is good in those half spaces. Obetimi those half tens now.
At that time, and not Spurs defending.
You need Mason Mount, okay. And you need Garnacho and draw to me here. But I think Ange did so well with Miaji a major trophy, and it's something that is good for him.
Okay.
Ruben Amorim, there is a lot of pressure on him now. I think as a coach, he has a lot of question marks on him, and now United would have to gamble. Say, man is Sikana mana to players no penno, and as Yenja ne kwai man nko because man is Sikana to players no penna and far. You are moving from a 4-back to a 3-back. Another coach of Ebano, so called 4-back backer. You mean so you need to sell and rebrand your team again, which will be a big problem.
Okay.
But I think they will gamble and try and give in money and see what will happen.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to, I think that Spurs they've done something that they've been waiting for the past 17 years, and I'm happy for Pochettino. Because I say he normally wins it in a year in the second season, and he said something that when he was coming to Tottenham, leave me catch him and say, "Oh, I'm the philosophers above, I'm the way above, I'm the winners above," and that Kasana say, and ko yamano because what if I was all the winners, what the Conte ni Mourinho, Conte Mourinho are the winners they were talking about. I'm the winners crab and fat. So he believed that they thought somebody believes, oh, he's somebody they believe the better make a but in fact, in the first season, the coach has made it clear that he wants to continue. But at least one thing is, Tottenham Hotspur, and this is a team. They are competing with the likes of City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and when they go into the transfer market, intimate and fighting with these people, but then they've been fighting for the past years, and Angie names will be in the record books of Tottenham Hotspur. I'm happy to say Enra what me are winning, and the money aspect of it. Go back Enra. I mentioned said the two coaches both needs the trophy to get a better reputation, especially in as much as Amorim, because this is the Europa League finalist. Yeah, but two teams now league standings very low. I think the list was bare 14 position, but 17 and 16 position in the Premier League. It was very abysmal performance from the season so far, and it was obvious that Spurs they wanted to win the Europa League because the EFL and the FA Cup they were knocked out and attention now. So despite the fact that this season Abre a lot of injuries, suspension at Bentancourt because of a comment he made about a best friend. Now say they it's something that they affect him. But one time I can say Omaji trophy and idea bit me about Tottenham team. That stigma. Oh, it's Tottenham Hotspurs. Oh, space. That stigma they bit me through. And I think that Angie Amanai clear to Daniel Levy me say he wants to stay. And the wire apart from the struggles and everything, he's a man that although stubborn tactically, but if they're able to sit with him so on flexible, I think that he can help them at least win some trophies. And then a game now from every aspect of the game, right from the onset, demeanor, how they wanted to play. Now when you say their Spurs wanted to win the trophy. See, and this is a team this is Washe United at also 3 times, and out of that 3 times before a game, no, I keep it 2 clean sheets. Apart from that game, a year 4-3. No, anytime you share United, the 2 games Washe United, and no keep it clean sheet. He knows that Ubo low blocker United won't mean no more. Into Washe this season, United seems to perform better when they are playing with the traditional big 6 clubs. So this is United as Washe Arsenal, Washe City, and on it Liverpool ball draw. How he played against Chelsea. Or no Ubiema, but because of how they attack and only good attackers apart from Bruno Fernandes, Obetima make any magic. Almost share teams on low blocker. That is why they struggle against Nottingham Forest. Bem finding all these teams. So Angie was right about how he wants to approach the game. But yesterday, whether Mason Mount started, whether was Garnacho started, to me, I think that Garnacho, had gotten the Europa League. On a very fine form because Bruno Frima Garnacho above matches in his goals are shared most this season and assists in Europa League. But the thing is, he came inside. He had a better opportunity to score the game. But as to Vicarious SAV situation, a medical can in tournaments and in games are final. You need that moment, that Van der Ven clearance. When that crowd was like no, even if Man United bet Spurs will win. Vicario saves so I say going into the final, United they were not on my side. People are complaining that United Bruno Fernandes too but the thing is Bruno Fernandes tactically he was indisciplined because the last time back deep analysis about how Ruben Amorim born Oba man the 3 center backs Ben Biemu na Maguire fin and then they are another thing is all right back only the right wing back the right center back the moment of a player will overtake you, and that is that same thing to watch United game na cross here they find it very difficult to defend. Check United goes are sure morning now you cross into the 6-yard box and the 8-yard box. They find it very difficult because always be that 3 center midfielders in the right center back, any center back. Why never why go always be one man.
You almost the same
thing. And my cast last the graph or more me bet that same thing. And I did about bomb and say I'm on defensive stability. When you tell me over 5 back, I'm about 2 pivotal. Into Casemiro Estepina and Momina more numbers Senabia. Maguire and I either Lenny Euro Meklet Benra. They were not doing that. Go into any time be a Papa Mata Sabina Bobo Mina attack Biana. So tactically, game especially Edna, Man United, they played a lot of shots more than Spurs. But check it more shot on target, any expected goals are it's not even up to Spurs DNA Omunya no. The Chelsea no into the game. Man United they were wasteful. A man capitalizing they no at least to who check game now. When United were down, this is a final na yebo and your 2-leg affair na yebo. When United were down by a goal, as at 70 minutes, now still United will defend as 5. Still United were having 5 defenders in the game. And then no, when almost share go na Van der Ven yellow card, Bissouma yellow card na, or you Richarlison from this one human bomb na. We saw so you Brendan Johnson. Any Kevin as because right now we're checking United game. They played that Harry Maguire decoy striker, so they will cross, they will have more numbers. No, my ass 2 times I'm an alpha, and it was predictable that Omunya will be a Maguire into Asha. Anytime I have that woman's piano, one any Maguire, it was Romero who was frustrating Harry Maguire. Only frustrating, and at that time he had Van der Ven and Calvin Dansouma. That area boss, they can clear apart from Maguire anymore. Any maybe Casemiro. United players no. One bit offer the area boss no ahead of Van der Ven, Romero, and the Calvin Dansouma. Also the Jet Spence. Ebe you do because that no doji abre. Or the neighbor you doji and Jet Spence. And also the bias also the Archie Gray, another defender. Ebe you Papa Matasa. Just to leave Bentancur and Bissouma in midfield. Inti Oksha game na. This is a team only by 1 goal. At that moment, I don't know as many as because we therefore he said we be replace it or you although if not they just spends by and don't know 6 defenders. About that moment, United there changes or you Joshua Zexi or Pego no. When you strike now, you need at least no or make it runs. When you strike the Joshua Zexi, a work another player on only compose the on one NBA Spurs defense team. And also Mount at the Ganacho Bam. And yet again, obey another player. Where you must right as also the Diego Dalot defender. As also then we Patrick Dogu and all the Kobe Menu. As also Bermu. And you look at United bench. Meanwhile, they had Ericsson. At least another player obey to create chances. Just play attacking football because you want to win. In the tactical, I think that I said this thing about that game management. I had Ruben Amorim, and I think that I'm not much now. I will get time to, enter Ruben Amorim. The situation at Man United. Listen to Ruben Amorim. If that is how he's going to me, I want to know about coaching. He said, so you coaching the amount of players are. You have to that materials now one try and improve them. But you see, I know Luke can say after the game that the United players. They are not better. To be very honest, listen to we I don't know United players only available on the pitch. We Bruno Fernandes are semi player or the we Spurs Freeman that teams are almost play that top 4 and top 6 position with Premier League. There's no way I catch him say Diego Dalot will start that. I bet start to Chelsea and even Newcastle. Maybe Manchester City, they don't have maybe a right back. But Liverpool is not going to start. Check your own players. Garnacho, why? So they have to understand, say, where the club is at. No? This is not the club because who check United at least to. Since Silas Ferguson free her, David Moyes, Omede, Obi Omufilis or the chosen one about, Omede philosopher, Obi a tactical professor. Winners Naba, but there's a particular issue at Manchester United, and every time when Eric Ten Hag buy, he's also a coach who is a tactical coach and philosopher of midfield Netherlands buy. In the second season, he had been United. Also second, he won the EFL, won the FA Cup. On my permanent, normally Ruben Amorim buy, and Ruben Amorim there no used to. So when me adapted to a certain, you say, oh Charlie, me 3 back the players are not fitting. Me in chairman. 5 players are maybe pay. Now who players are open here? That's our 3-back system. Still 1 year. Who are you going to blame? As a coach, you should be coaching the players. When Thomas Tuchel was coming to Chelsea, was Thomas Tuchel known for playing a 3-back system? He wasn't. But at Chelsea, at that very day, not Chelsea here training on Paul. But he announced now we have to play the game. That was, I think it was a Wednesday night. Into the players no ye train every one. Oh, say nah. Or the defense will because at that time, or the defense will call cover for back. Abraham. Then about 3 back. That very game, Chelsea was 0-0. In fact, the first 3 games, defensively, Chelsea were solid. But how to find the net was the problem. Right now, we're finding an antidote to a player. See how the players started performing. But Ruben Amorim by used to at depend on their can United players. No.
Ebia onya ono an transfer.
No, as a coach, listen. You don't need now you Tamana Morino Wohon. Player Ben Morino, they are players you better amount. That is the reason why in United they have done that mistakes. Because Morino by or my to top players Ebreno or Koyeno, that players be surplus to requirements. Eric Ten Hag by she plays soccer zone by and then one of the players at United for Philly say Edio Munya ye pano Andrew Nana when I find by right now that coach is not there. So Omar Beredamu any the sporting that any that say United first don't need that sporting direct they want to go by that chicken back standing the rule na Chelsea got. What do you say players are Pochettino any Enzo Maresca by Enzo Maresca can go for player remember. The club they have their direction as a coach. You have to improve. And one of the main aspects as a coach, improve players. Play the players according to the system. What tribe 3 back now? United they can possess the game. And in terms of possessing the game, they were up there. But to find the net, still who were 5 to 6 defenders in the game. Also Pekati. Meanwhile, you are playing the final. So I think that Ruben Amorim there, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Or even or he wasn't the coach and a person come back halfway the season. He wanted to come, but opportunity by and the United people convinced him to come.
Okay.
We are giving him the benefit of the doubt. They not much. I mean, that time already United in sense they've lost a lot of money. Or caught next season, yeah. Why not? Because these sporting players now what sporting. Hopefully, say no, me my fine. Quenda any all the go correct. Or they are not going to solve your problems. So, Obefa the players, and he should know that he has to improve some of the players. He has to improve some of the players because there are a lot of players that they don't even need to be a United. Luke Shaw, he doesn't need to be a United currently.